And they got me here because this kind of it's going to make me want to go hear the song again. There's other songs in the past that do that, and I'm like, I got to hear it again. I want more. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Beer song? Is that part of the title? It's from Mustard Plug's third studio album, Evildoers Beware, released in 1997. I've been meaning to do this particular video for over a year now. After I broke down the song Beer by Real Big Fish, you guys said the logical next step was to hear another ska band with a song called Beer, and that is Mustard Plug, who hail from Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's almost 2 o'clock here, and I got to keep this little trend going. So to accompany me on this episode today is a beer called Show Pony by Great Raft Brewing. I used to work for them. Great friends, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere, as they say. So without further ado, here's my first time hearing Mustard Plug with their song Beer. Let's do it. Catchy whoa-wows right out of the gate. That's the way to my heart. You guys know this now. Love it. Wow, these lyrics. Okay, 2 things right out of the gate. I'm hearing lyrics already that are like, take my wife, take my child, like sad stuff. And that's what I didn't catch on to in the first part of reviewing Real Big Fish's song Beer. I kind of thought it was this party song because I didn't really, this was a year ago. It was very early on in me getting into punk. And I had this notion that if the music's happy, the lyrics must be happy too. And I've come to learn that it's actually quite the opposite. And that dichotomy I talk about a lot is a really big appeal. I love the contrast. And it sounds like this is a similar thing already. We have the poppiest progression to ever exist in music. 1, 5, 6, 4. We're here in B flat. So you just think it might be another song about partying or beer or something, but I'm hearing the other side of that. And I also love how they save the horns for the verse. Normally ska bands will, 3 seconds into the song, it's like, here's the horns, we have them. Just letting you know they're here. It's a big part of our sound. And they could have easily done that backup whoa-whoa thing with the horns. And I find it kind of cool that they did, and they saved it for more of a verse impact. And it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't necessarily looking for horns right out of the gate, because you guys have told me that not all ska bands have horns. So dropping them in on verse 1 was kind of cool. Let's go back to when that whoa-whoa thing started and go from there. Catchy. That was the last chord I expected them to go to. I think that was the 2. I expected to just go right into more 1, 6, 4, 5. 1, 5, 6, 4, I'm sorry. I guess the order doesn't matter. People know what I mean when I say that. Landed on the 2 there. And other thing that I find interesting is that the horns are kind of taking the spot of that upbeat guitar I've come to know in ska music. Instead of the horns doing a soaring kind of counterpoint melody with the vocals, like some of the other bands, Less Than Jake, Streetlight, and such, they're taking the role of that guitar part in the upbeat. I don't think I've quite heard that. It makes it really peppy. And bass line wise, bass player's holding down the roots, driving it. I can hear the tone really well, but he's doing a move that I like that really solidifies landing on the 1. It's walking it back down from the 4th chord. So we have 1, 5, 6, This is the fourth chord, which also is the four chord, the fourth chord and the four chord. But he walks it down going and lands a half step down from B flat, which is the root. And it's that little half step push into the root, and he does it every time. Starts it over. So little subtle thing there. Subtle bass playing things like that are really crucial to just making the whole progression feel like it flows really well and has a good sense of direction. Keep it going.
Taking my wife, they're taking my child, they're taking my life.
Taking my child.
There's one thing that they will not take, that I will hold to the end until my dying day. It's a part of me. It's time that I say they will not take that away.
What's that two chord?
No one fight. No one
Interesting.
to let them take it away. It's getting harder every day. Brothers, sisters, hear me sing.
I almost thought the backup vocals were outlining the chord progression. It's very similar. It's a half step. I'm just kind of thinking in my head, it's a half step down from that E flat. So they're landing on D, B flat, F, G. And the chord is actually here. So they're creating kind of a major seventh over that. If they hang over that four chord and the fourth chord, get a bit of that sound. And I just love the way they're kind of cycling in instrumentation here. So the guitar part was actually there all along. It was just blended really nicely with those upbeats on the horns. But now the horns just seem to be absent anytime that whoa thing is happening. They stand back. So now the guitar's there kind of taking over the part. So they're just passing the baton in a circle on who's taking what part. It keeps the energy high and keeps it really even. Cool.
Brothers, sisters, hear me sing.
It's kind of like a post-chorus or... I don't know.
I'm proud of the pavement, through thick and thin, good times and bad. I just can't win, I've been beat up, they get gone. They sold it to my face, the whole beating, one thing's all being disgrace. They can own my body, but they'll never own my mind. The better face it back, 'cause now's the time till we all join hands. And all of us say, they will not take that away. No one puts.
I don't know why that chord just sounds so unusual. It's very effective. It's just not the chord I thought it would go to based on all of the other kind of implications by other melodies happening. But that two chord is just really strong. I like it. I don't know. It was a bit jarring at first. I can see why it works now. It's just not where your ear wants to go, at least mine.
And all of us say, they will not take that away. No one puts. No one inch.
Yep, to the four, okay.
Since the day I was born, I've been running uphill.
Like that.
I would make fingers to the bone just to get my fill. Yeah, they still want more. It's getting hotter every.
Thought I heard a little bit of deviation in the bass line there. They've changed it up. Now it's... So they're working in that two chord. Now it's kind of like 1, 4, 2. Okay.
I was born. I've been running uphill. I would make fingers to the bone just to get my fill.
Yeah, I heard like a... So getting a little fancy there.
I would make fingers to the bone just to get my fill. Yeah, they still want more.
That's a great cross stick sound.
Hotter every day until there's nothing left. Until they take it all away.
Wow. Take it all away.
Metal man. They go down like that. Here we go again. To let them take it all away. It's getting
So that D they're landing on and the vocal melody, I didn't pay attention the first time. If it's hanging over until the fourth chord, making that major 7 interval, you'll notice it cuts off right when it goes to the 4 chord. So the note they land on becomes the 5 of the third chord, which is the 6. So we have basically together it's then it goes up to the E flat. Otherwise it would clash. So smart to cut off there.
Take it away. It's getting hotter
There we
every
go.
day. Brothers, sisters, hear me sing. Don't let 'em take it away. No, 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 no.
So they're adding a lot of little sprinkles here. I hear little melodies starting to get a bit more active. The horn parts, certainly here.
Brothers, sisters,
It's getting busy.
Don't let 'em take it away. No, 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 no.
Right here.
Never will I take it away.
Woo.
Never will I take it away.
Yeah, I know we're at the end, but damn, that's a catchy little horn melody to introduce at the end. And they got me here because this kind of it's going to make me want to go hear the song again. That's a great songwriting technique. People need to do more. Come up with this melody that is nowhere in the song and put it in the song in like the last 20, 30 seconds. And it kind of sounds out of context when it suddenly comes in. It could make sense with the next song on an album. Maybe it does here, but there's other songs in the past that do that. And I'm like, I got to hear it again. I want more. That's what's happening here with this horn melody. It's got this little ba-da-da-da-da. Listen to it.
Get away. Never will I take it away.
That's great. That was catchy as hell. So for me, what's been interesting getting into all of these ska bands over time that you guys have introduced me to is I'm kind of taking notes as to how each band utilizes those energetic components of the ska sound in their own unique way. The horn section, the fast tempos, the upbeats on the guitar, the really driving bass lines. And every band's done it a bit different. And I find what Mustard Plug did here on this Beer song to be really unique. They kept the energy at like a 7 or an 8 and never let it go to a 10, even though they had all of the ingredients to make it happen. And I think if they had put the horns underneath that big backup vocal thing that's already getting stuck in my head, I just feel it manifesting already. Damn it, that was catchy. The fact that they left the horns out of that kind of kept it from just being kind of boiling over. And I think that's a cool restraint type of play in the sense that it makes you want to go hear the song again. Like it doesn't fully give you what you think it should, but at the same time, all great songs kind of have that. Catchy songs. I mean, some of my favorite songs I listen to for the 1,000th time, and I'm like, how do I describe this? It's like it's missing something, but the people writing the song knew it was, and that's why you keep going back and listening for the song. You're just trying to get that little finality that's not quite there, and that supports my previous point about them putting that little horn soli at the end there, which was also catchy. So I'm getting into these bands. I'm always looking to see what makes each of them unique, and I find that they had a really unique approach on how they kept the energy really even, but they never let it go too high, and they certainly never let it drop. Baseline wise, again, meat and potatoes, catchy fills, little embellishments here and there where necessary, but I think the great play here was introducing 3 or 4 different melodies that were all extremely effective for a rather basic progression. Another great band, another great, happy, uplifting ska song with rather depressing lyrics. I didn't catch a ton of them, but I heard enough to know it wasn't reminiscent of the vibe given off by the music. But thanks to all of you who requested Mustard Plug and the beer song about beer that's not about beer song, whatever. It's taken me a year to get to it, but I'm happy to finally get to it. And if you'd like to support this channel further, please come find us over on Patreon. I do full albums every month there. We break them down. They're long episodes. We've done lots of ska albums, lots of punk albums, and we have a great community I'm so grateful for, and I would love to have you over there. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I love you all. Cheers. We'll see you in the next one.